Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome to the 200th Dark Avenger Comic Book review.
Yeah!
And by the way, this picture was made by Cindy, who is behind the camera today.
Hello.
For this 200th comic book review celebration. You guys will notice a few of these pictures from thumbnails and whatnot that we do, and from darkavengerink.com.
Yep.
And I am making the announcement here that at the end of this review, connected to this review, but as a separate video, and it's gonna all be in the same video, but it is a separate part to this video. There is going to be an announcement about videos, episodes from 201 on. There are going to be a few different things. Basically a Avenger log or an update video attached to this. We're going to finish the show up. We'll say goodbye, and then after the show there'll be a brief pause, maybe a picture pause, because I know me, I'll put a picture probably between, and then it'll go into the Avenger log or the update, and that's where we'll continue. So it's going to be a straightforward video. It's going to look long. I might not do it that way. I might divide them up into two separate videos. All depends on how long this review is, and then we'll go from there. But this is, like I said, 200, so let's put 200 where it belongs. Then we can put it in front of Dark Avenger for today.
Well, I tell you,
200, I'm probably blocking it anyway, but beside the point, at least it's there.
But 100 episodes
yes.
I've been in, you know, it's been really adventurous.
It's been crazy. It's been, from episode 100 to 200, we've done a lot of changes. The review is a million times different from where it was when I started back.
Yeah, from when I was behind
4 years
the camera,
ago.
Actually, and then you were here, and then I came in, and then we had people from time to time.
Yeah, this show has absolutely evolved a lot over the past 4 years. It's been 4 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Feels like it's only been about a year or so that I've been doing this, but it's been an amazing ride. Made lots of amazing friends, still making amazing friends. Dark Avenger Inc. came out of all this so far, and you know, working on comicrelated.com. You guys see the logo in the back of all of my review videos now, as well as all of mine and Mike's, at least, individual reviews. Made amazing friends in Dark Avenger Inc. It's like a second family. So a lot of amazing things have come from these reviews, and I'm looking forward to episode 201 all the way through to 300, and then when 300 hits, same thing again. I've got a lot of interesting stuff. In the announcement video, you guys are going to definitely want to listen to it, because there's some changes that are going to be made involving the comic reviews and stuff like that, so you're definitely going to want to stick around. And I'm sure that some things will, you know, as we move forward, I'm always evolving the reviews.
Exactly.
So, the comics we are talking about in this monumentous 200th comic book review episode were released on August 28th, 2013. And as a matter of fact,
last week of August, actually.
We're getting the end of an event, and we're getting continuations of other awesome books. I have to say, 90%, 95 to 90% of the books were amazing this week. I really don't have too many complaints. And we're going to start off with my book of the month and book of this review. Well, not of the week, but definitely book of the month, because I'm loving this series. And I'm telling people, this week you can check out for the 100 pennies for issue number 1, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 1. We are now 25 issues later. We are officially about 2 years into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're a month ahead, but this series has never stopped going. It's been one of my favorite books. Every week it came out, every month it comes out, it is my book of the month, because it's an enjoyment. It's, you know, we look for that escapism in comic books, and this book always gives me that escapism feel, and it's always high action packed. There was a little stutter, but the story was still good. It was just the artwork that didn't fit, and you know what, you got used to it by the end of the story arc anyway, so really it wasn't a huge minus, and it only took a half a star away. But this series has been delivering, and we are knee deep in Cityfall, and Leonardo has been converted, and he's working for the Foot now. Cowrie is not happy about that at all. I want to make sure I got, maybe it says what part it is, but I doubt it, because I think it would say in the beginning.
Wasn't it part 2?
No, definitely not part 2. I think it's like part 3, I believe. I don't know, wherever the title page was, but yeah, it's about part 3. So the Turtles are divided now. Leo is working for Shredder, who is still working to convert him fully into his Chonin permanent. Casey's still in the hospital, sick, but we do get to see finally the April O'Neil Casey kind of together. Finally, kind of that moment. There's a lot of kissing in a lot of books this week. Raph is trying to find Leo because he feels responsible for Leo being taken by the Foot. You can still see Leo has that, he's still in there somewhere. And Kitsune's hold on him is not completely strong enough yet to keep him. Splinter makes a desperate decision to get his son back. I will not say what that is here. And the Savant has, there's basically a war that's going to be going on between the Foot and the Savant. And you get the first appearance or reappearance of two characters. For those of you that are familiar with the Turtles, I'm sure you know who they are, Mike. I'm not going to spoil who they are. But the last page, you get the debut in this volume of two specific characters in the very last page, all thanks to Cowrie. So this was an action-packed issue. I enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. And if you guys are not reading the Turtles, start at issue, I believe it was 20, if I'm not mistaken. Whenever City Fall began, get the issue before it and read it. This series has been amazing. If you want to test it out, for $1, you can get the first issue and find out if you are interested in the series. It's a different artist, but the same writer, Tom Waltz, has been writing this. This is a Kevin Eastman cover B, and Santa Luco has been doing the artwork in this series. I forgot who did the other one. Andy Kunn, and the first artist stayed. Dan Dukin. I'm probably saying his name wrong, and I apologize for that. But he was on it for the first two story arcs, and he was the best one so far, in my opinion. The one that did the first issue and the first arc was an amazing artist. I hope maybe he'll come back to the Turtles. There's also a part in here about Casey's father. Once again, I'm leaving that out because that connects to a micro-series issue. This series has been great. Every time somebody asks me what do I recommend, what series is, something that people would enjoy, I always say try the Turtles. Get the trade paperbacks, because believe me, the single issues, a lot of them are sold out actually.
Yeah, they
from
are.
what I heard. So I always recommend Turtles. Somebody asked me recently, no, 3 people asked me recently, and I have also recommended the Turtles to them. Everybody who's gone on my recommendation for the Turtles has come back and told me I have never steered anybody wrong. They've either agreed or they've highly agreed and said, I don't know where I was for this long, but thank you so much for introducing me to the series. Check out the Turtles. I've wasted enough time talking about the Turtles. Let's go into Marvel Comics. And we're going to start off with New Avengers issue number 9, which connects to Infinity, which I've officially dropped because I am not going to pick up Avengers, New Avengers, and Infinity to get the full story of Infinity. And to be honest, the first issue didn't leave me highly, like, oh my god, I can't wait for issue 2. It gave me that same, oh, Marvel's just doing this thing again with the Avengers, and it's Villains Month, coming next month.
Yeah, but that's in the DC Comics.
And that is in DC Comics.
Right,
but the money.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to get a lot of the Villains issues. And the 3D covers are $3.99. They are not 15% off at Midtown. As a matter of fact, I'll point it out in the next part when we start talking about DC. But actually, no, I'm going to put it in the announcement video better. But New Avengers, basically, Thanos is looking for the Infinity Gems, and he finds out that the Infinity Gems were destroyed, except one. The one that Mr. Fantastic was holding disappears. So the Infinity Gems are not completely gone. One has disappeared. Where it went, when it went, who it went, we don't know. But Thanos wants to know where that Infinity Gem is. And his people they're attacking Wakanda, Atlantis, They're attacking Doctor Strange's sanctorum, or however you pronounce it. I said they're at the Jean Grey School. They're everywhere where the New Avengers are, or basically it's the Illuminati, where the Illuminati are. And finally, at the end of the issue, after all the fighting, Namor says he'll say where the last Infinity Gem is, which nobody knows where it is, honestly. They don't know where it disappeared to. In their mind, all of them were destroyed. But, if you remember from previous issues, Wakanda attacked Atlantis and basically eliminated 90% of the people there. Namor, in retaliation, sends Thanos' forces, all of his armies, to Wakanda, saying that Wakanda has the gem, which they don't. Mm-hmm. And Black Bolt sends out the call for the New Avengers. I am not reading Infinity. I've made that point very stern of late. I might, after Villains Month, jump back into Infinity. I might. But I will be sticking with the New Avengers for now, probably. It's their own story arc. The Avengers are off in space. The New Avengers are still on Earth. As long as this story stays within its book and it doesn't reach out into other books, like where there's a huge gap between this issue and the next issue, I'll continue New Avengers all the way through past Infinity and beyond. No Buzz Lightyear joke in there. And I am looking forward. I'm going to try Mighty Avengers #1, but I don't think I'll be holding on to it. I might not. There's rumors that Miles Morales is going to be the one joining the Mighty Avengers because Miles Morales is going to be coming to the 616. We don't know yet. I don't know yet. All I know is, yeah. For now, I'll be holding on to New Avengers, but Infinity just lost my interest, at least for this month. Let's see what happens after Villains Month ends and I get more spendings. Next we have Avengers Arena issue 14, 4 issues away from the conclusion. We get Bloodstone's, I believe it's Bloodstone. I want to make sure I say his name right. But it's a lot about him in this book. A lot about his, Bloodstone. A lot about his background story, growing up, how he came to be where he's at now. I don't know really that many characters from this book outside of the Young Avengers. And Hazmat chases after who she believes is Metal. It's not Metal, and it turns out he's full of Trigger Scent. And basically the rest of the issue is X-23 under Trigger Scent's, under the Trigger Scent, all she thinks about is killing. And she is a killing machine, and we don't know what happened to Hazmat. She disappeared. But we know that X-23's targets are everybody that's left. And that, my friends, is not good. And see, once again, the ink comes off on my fingertips. This Marvel, your covers suck. And basically it's everybody versus X-23. Look, you can see.
Wow.
Yeah. I love these covers, Marvel. You're doing a spectacular job with these covers.
They're going to come before you know it.
And then you know what's going to happen? The comic gloves are going to be ones that leave marks on the books.
They'll be comic proof.
No.
You never know.
Avengers Arena. I'm enjoying it, but this was basically a heavy origin, like not origin, but tale from Bloodstone's past. I don't know who Bloodstone is. I haven't been reading Avengers Arena from the very beginning, and I'm sure people who've been reading this right along are going to care about the character. For me, it's like I don't really know the character well enough to really hold it heavy, but this was still a good issue. Looking forward to what's going to happen in the end, and apparently this book is leading into a new series, which I guess is coming out during Marvel Now Wave 2. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
I'm looking forward to it. It seems that there are 2 books that are going to be coming out of Marvel Now Wave 2 that we know of. Something from Avengers Arena, and something from one of the Infinity 3-part tie-in books.
Oh, Avengers and New Avengers.
No. Infinity, I think the one where the young X-Men, where Quentin Quire is leading a team.
You mean Wolverine the X-Men?
No, Quentin. It's a long story, I'll tell you after the video, but apparently there's something there. Okay. Young Avengers, issue number 9. Oh, I called them the Young... I meant Avengers Academy here. Avengers Academy people I know. Now we're in the Young Avengers. And they're... I'm getting... Is anybody else who's reading this book getting a little bit tired of Mother? I feel like this entire series, all 9 issues so far, is about the Young Avengers on the run, from Mother. That's it. Hulkling and Prodigy are now trapped in Mother's dimension, and Prodigy explains how why he kissed him in the at the last page of the last issue, and Hulkling's like, I didn't know you were gay, and he's like, I'm not gay, I'm bi, and Hulkling kind of, you know, nothing. It's an awkward situation, but him and Prodigy are they're on the run from Mother also, and Hulkling he tells him how he's feeling, you know, about how he believes that Wiccan is controlling him, still being madly in love with him, and he's like, you know what? Sometimes you need a little bit of space to clear your own head. So maybe if we do get out of here, you might want to think about doing that. And long story short, the Young Avengers escape Mother again. They save Hulkling, they save Prodigy, and in the end, Hulkling does just that. He leaves Wiccan and the Young Avengers for a time to clear his head. And I'm not going to spoil the very end of the book, but basically Hulkling now is away from Wiccan, and we'll see if Wiccan is the one that's making Hulkling love him, or if Hulkling just really loves Wiccan.
200.
No! Hold this.
Yeah.
Let's stay there. I will sue you. Don't move. Okay. Interesting book, but we'll see where it goes. I'm getting tired of the Mother arc. If by the next issue they don't end it...
She sounds annoying.
She's an annoying antagonist. If they don't get rid of her soon and the Young Avengers go off into a different kind of mission where they're not on the run from something, I think I'm going to let it go for now. Scarlet Spider 21, I'm sure a lot of you are very upset, and I'm not spoiling anything here because ever since Wednesday, the only thing I've been hearing is that everybody was right. It's not Ben Reilly, and we predicted it on the live show, which didn't go up due to YouTube, and we were talking about Bryan Cranston, and we showed him on Malcolm in the Middle, and they claimed copyright to whatever. Anyway, we were all right. It was an illusion, thanks to Mr. Craven, the Hunter. So this is not Ben Reilly. And also, Kane is not degenerating. It's all part of the hallucination. And the person in the Scarlet Spider suit, this isn't a huge spoiler. I've seen this picture actually all over the internet already. It's Craven, and the hunt is about to begin. And Craven's daughter is going around. She attacks Donald and Barry, and she also Wally. Barry and Donald and Wally. She attacks Arsley. She attacks, I forgot, Annabelle. She attacks everybody who's close to Kane, and, yeah. And the fight between Kane and Ben Reilly, before we find out that Ben Reilly is really Craven, was interesting. But I'm also, like Kat, I agree with you, Kat. I did see your review on this book because I was wondering what you thought about the book. I agree that I'm getting tired of, I'm a monster. Okay, maybe I'm not a monster. I'm not a hero. Okay, maybe I am a hero. Kane is, at this moment, the most bipolar superhero I have ever seen in my life. Pick a side. Are you a monster, or are you a hero? Or are you not a monster? Are you a hero, or are you an anti-hero? We all know the answer to that question. He's a hero, and he was a monster, but he's no longer a monster. The end. Move on from this concept already. Seriously. And Venom's the book that's ending?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. But Marvel told you guys, and as long as Joe Quesada's running Marvel, I believe this to be true. Ben Reilly is gone forever. And I believe as long as Joe Quesada is the head of Marvel also, we're never going to see Peter Parker and Mary Jane married again. However, we're not even going to see Peter Parker right now. We don't even see Peter Parker. He's gone. So, sorry Spider-Man universe fans. Joe Quesada hates Spider-Man. Or has his own perverted... Hey, look, if I can go through what's happening to Superman in the DC universe, you guys, I feel for you, but you guys aren't the only ones suffering here. It was a good issue. The artwork was spectacular. I will say that. The artwork definitely was a very, very good book. I'm just tired of the inner conflict with Kane. We are now at issue 21. I think it's time after the hunt for Kane to decide whether he's a hero or not, a monster or not, or do a story arc where we finally get this situation resolved, because this is not something you want to base the entire book off of. Kane, we all know, is going to become a hero or an anti-hero or something. It's time to move away from him doubting himself and jumping back and forth between, hey, life is good, hey, life sucks, hey, this is great, hey, this sucks.
That is being bipolar.
That is bipolar.
Yeah.
See, bipolar. Doesn't even want to stand up. But it was still a good book. Highly recommend it, but just be ready for some bipolar motions of the ocean. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, issue number 26. Bombshell's mom's origin and how she was found out. It turns out that when Bombshell's mom became who she was, or got her superpowers, which, spoiler alert, was from Roxxon, she was pregnant, and that's how Bombshell got her powers. And of course, it was a heavy origin story about Bombshell. Cloak and Dagger are still on the run, and I believe this book was made because there is a debut of another Ultimate character. Ooh. I'm surprised they're still doing it because, well, they say the Ultimate Universe is ending, but you get the Ultimate Taskmaster, who's hired by Roxxon to bring back Cloak, Dagger, and Bombshell. And Taskmaster does attack Bombshell, along with Spider-Man and Spider-Woman. And that's basically the whole thing of the book. Long story. Long story short, that's basically what this entire book is about. Not that much Spider-Man. Lots about Roxxon. And it looks like in the next issue, Spider-Man is going to be taken. Miles is going to be taking it to
or this
Roxxon.
could lead into the whole Spider-Man facing someone new, maybe. Mm-hmm. It could be that. Maybe they're just introducing the villain that'll lead into...
And this is also a very interesting cover. If you look at the background, at all the different things people are doing in the apartment building, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, just saying, it's a very interesting cover. I like the cover a lot. But it's good to see Miles back in the Spider-Man suit, just in time to get shipped over to the 616. He'll be the Amazing Spider-Man. Aren't you just happy? Huh?
I'll wait and see. Okay, I get the point.
Huh? 2 more books. Thor: God of Thunder, issue 12. Settling after, thank you God, the whole 11-issue run of the God Bomb. Thor is back on Midgard now, or Earth. And you get a little bit in the beginning of the book from young Thor. You get 1 page on why he likes to be on Earth. And then you go to present-day Thor, where he's just doing little things here and there. And this was a very nice, calming issue. First, he meets up with a guy who is on death's row, basically. It's his last, the last meal he has is a fruit from a tree from Asgard. And Thor follows him all the way through until his execution. And then you have Thor, he brings food. He's with the soldiers, he brings rain. This girl sent him a video where she invited him to be her date for her graduation from S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. He was there for that. Jane Foster shows up in this book. I'm not going to say too much about that, but this was the most touching part of the entire book. I kid you guys not. Lots of dialogue, but guys, please get this book. This book really, if you have no idea about Thor, or if you want to know about the Thor, if you really want to know, what the nitty-gritty is about this character, you want to get inside, what he does, outside of fighting Asgard and thous and smite thee. This book was really, really good, and it shows Thor as the more human side. Yeah. To Thor, and it's really good. And in the very last 2 pages, you get to see old Thor one last time, and the world he's left with. And this was such a really good book, heavy dialogue. But guys, if you want to pick up a new book, I would definitely recommend picking up issue 12. This is your perfect jumping on point if you did not want to be bothered with the God Bomb try just this issue. This issue was a welcome enjoyment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this book. And I have 2 minutes and 50 seconds to talk about Wolverine and the X-Men issue 35. I called it. This was the last part, and this was the best part. And I'm so happy about one character, but we'll get into that in a moment.
I gotta see this.
So Cade Kilgore lost, and Toad figures out a way to save Paige, but unfortunately Paige doesn't remember her and Toad's relationship anymore, unfortunately. Cade Kilgore pulls a final trick up his sleeve, only things don't go his way at all. X-Men basically win, Cade loses, and okay, Marvel, you didn't kill him, but I'm pretty happy with what they did. They trapped him in the mirror, the Chaos Mirror.
So that should make you happy about it.
The Siege Mirror. I am very happy about that. There were twists and turns. Cade just couldn't win. There were betrayals within his rank that he didn't even know about until it was too late, and it was bittersweet. And my favorite part of this book, Brew got his memory back. And it's all thanks to a mysterious person whom I believe we're going to be seeing very soon in the Amazing X-Men, so to speak. I want to get the right picture. This panel, I hope I'm showing the right panel.
Which one?
With the hood.
I don't know.
I don't know, but he's also shown in the very end of the book. And I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
We all know who it is. So we're going to be seeing Nightcrawler again pretty soon. But it was so good to see that Brew finally, thanks to Nightcrawler, even though he's on the other side somehow. But I'm sure he's going to find a way back. But Brew finally got his memories back. And he's not just a killing machine or an animal anymore. So thank you, Nightcrawler. We'll be seeing you soon anyway. But man, this story arc, this story ended perfectly. If you wanted to consider this a chapter in the Wolverine and the X-Men series, issue 35 was the end of chapter 1. Battle of the Atom will be the divider, and then after Battle of the Atom we get chapter 2, and I am excited to see what chapter 2 is going to be. You get to see Heidi finally sees the world. She's happy. She doesn't believe that she's a monster anymore, or that the mutants are monsters anymore. She's like, finally, the world is a awesome place. Okay, give me a second, you. Alright. Shut up! She's like, everything is amazing. I love life again. So it's good to see that. And her and Quentin Quire, spoiler alert here, are together. I spoil this entire series because we're going into a brand new divider, which is going to be Battle of the Atom. Guys, stay tuned. And we'll be right back after this commercial break with DC Comics. So hang on, guys, and we will see you guys in a few seconds. Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's monumentous 200th Dark Avenger Comic Book review. We've done Marvel, we've done the indie. Now let's go into some DC Comics, which basically is about the same height as this pile, maybe 1 or 2 issues shorter.
And like I was saying, I have 2 books from DC.
Yes, you do. Yeah, because I was about to say, what are you doing here then if you have no books? I'm just kidding. Larfleeze issue 3. I agree with what a lot of people say. If you've been enjoying this series, you're going to enjoy this issue. If you haven't been really enjoying this series, you're not going to enjoy this issue. This is the Deadpool of the DC universe.
Okay.
It's not, breaking the fourth wall, but at the same time, it's not exactly the most serious book out of DC Comics either. We get the Wanderer and her background throughout most of the beginning of the book, and she actually hires or takes the Stargrave as her butler. And he's all for it until she tells him that she has to castrate him. Because he's a guy and she's a girl. She doesn't want any urges.
What?
So Larfleeze wakes up. And he ain't a happy man. He wants his revenge on
Yikes.
the Lord. And he wants to fight the Wanderer because he wants his butler. It's his butler and nobody else can have him. So I believe it's Lord something. I cannot remember his name for the life of me because I didn't really care. It's like it's a forgettable character because you're probably never gonna see him again.
Guess call him Lord something? Or...
I don't remember. Lord something.
Yeah.
But basically, Larfleeze makes easy work of him, which was kind of funny. Because he has will in his orange lantern ring. And he sends his constructs after the Wanderer, whose power basically brought them back to life. She turned his constructs back into living matter. And she tells them if they want to stay free-willed, they're going to have to kill Larfleeze, or else she'll turn them back into matter and make them slaves to his ring again. So, this definitely leads into, finally, a really good story arc. Something that might not be so comical, or comedic. Comical, comedic. Two different words I put together in one. Larfleeze versus the Orange Lanterns in 2 months.
His own kind?
Yeah, because they're alive now, and they don't have to listen to Larfleeze. And you get an epilogue with the Wanderer. Basically, by Stargrave, he's gone for good. It's Larfleeze on his own from now on. That's the long and short of it.
I feel bad for him right now.
There's a lot of other stuff that happened in here, but it's a really funny book. It was an interesting book, and the next story arc, starting with issue number 4. If you want to give it a shot, start with issue number 4. It all begins here, but I just gave you guys the long and short of it. The constructs, thanks to the Wanderer, are no longer just constructs. They're living, breathing people again. They're alive again, and now they want revenge on Larfleeze. Go from there in the next issue if you want. Not one of the strongest Lantern books, but still an enjoyment to read each and every month. Something to look into. This book was all around and back again. Superman issue number 23. The Psy War is on. Okay, try to stay with me on this, guys. Superman is at the mercy of the Hive Queen, who wants to make all minds alike, this way Brainiac when he comes back and take over the entire world. Hector Hammond wants to save the day, but the Hive Queen knows that he doesn't want to save the day. He wants everybody on Earth's mind for himself. And Superman, unfortunately, is at the mercy of both of them, or he's caught in between the two basically it's the Hive versus Hector Hammond's people. And at first there's like everybody versus Hector Hammond, and then Hector Hammond finds a way to infect or reach out to some of the people in the Hive. So it becomes this huge war between Hector Hammond and the Hive Queen. He tries to reach out for Superman, but Superman, because of the whole war between the two going on, he breaks free somehow and escapes, but he comes face to face with none other than well, actually, something happens to Hector Hammond, we don't know what, and we find out that somebody else is there. And I don't want to say who yet, but let's just say he was introduced in another book. And Lois Lane. Crazy. Lois Lane is awake, but she's under the influence. You have to read Superman Annual. Was it Superman or Action? I want to make sure I give you. I believe it was Superman, but I want to make 100% sure.
Wasn't it the Action
Superman.
Comics or something of that?
No. Let's see. It was Superman Annual number 2. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
To find out what happened to Lois Lane and why she's in the hospital right now, and why she woke up with glowing purple eyes. But the Psy War is on. It was the most craziest everything was all over the place. Hector Hammond versus the Hive Queen. Superman's in the middle. And then the introduction of another character at the end. And it's like, what? Crazy issue. Very confusing. And if you do not pay very close attention, it's very easy to get a little bit lost. But to be honest, I didn't get lost. I heard a few people mention you could get lost. So I paid very close attention to what I was reading as I was reading it. But a few people said they got lost. I didn't get lost because I paid very close attention. But it's just a full-on war of who is the best psychic or a person who could take over minds or whatever. Who's going to take over the world, basically, and control everybody's mind. Best way to put it. Don't look at me like that. I know what you know. When this story arc's over, I'll be a happy person. This is out there. Still interesting. And I can't wait to see, actually, the next issue, especially with where we got left off in this issue. Red Lanterns 23 continues to be an amazing, amazing series ever since Guy Gardner put on a Red Lantern ring. Atrocitus is alive only thanks to Dexter, who actually tasted Rancor's blood, and he is now able to create constructs. So Dexter is keeping Atrocitus alive by simulating or making a construct of Atrocitus' heart, which keeps him alive. Atrocitus goes on the hunt for the avatar of the red light, and it turns out that the avatar of the red light is under the is being held by Lancer, who is actually the person who killed Scalax, who is also a Red Lantern. So, long story short, Atrocitus absorbs the avatar, kind of like what happened to Kyle Rayner becoming Ion, and Hal Jordan being Parallax, now Sinestro being Parallax. So we get to see Atrocitus at 120%, basically. And he's going after Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner wants out. He actually is trying to reach out to Hal Jordan with the .3 power that's left in his ring. And somebody in the Red Lanterns at the end of this issue caught his last conversation with Hal Jordan. And that's going to lead into a very, very interesting issue, next issue. So Guy Gardner was found out. Maybe, because Guy Gardner apparently is going to be leading the Red Lanterns months to come from now, so maybe he actually stays the Red Lantern, period. It's going to be interesting, but the Blue Lanterns are gone now. So how is Guy Gardner going to be purified?
That's the question.
Really good issue. I'm enjoying it. One of the best of the Lantern series that's out there right now. Top. Absolutely one of the top. Number one? Maybe. I'm still liking what's going on in Green Lantern. However, Red Lanterns, I love Guy Gardner, so it's really fun to read him. Next we have Teen Titans issue 23, and those of you Jeff Johns Titans fans, listen closely. This is going to be an issue that you might be interested in. So, somebody is trying to take Bart. That's what happened at the end of last issue. Enter the entire Teen Titans team to try to save him. And Red Robin, thank God, has a plan, you know, as he enters. And he tells Superboy to use his telekinetic power, shut whatever it is down to save Bart. And they do save Bart. And we know somebody wants Bart really, really badly in the 30th century. And I have a feeling that, of course, it'll play into a future story arc, of course. But the team is definitely splintered a little bit from the recent story arc, which was Trigon. And you can see that there's still tension between everybody. And Miguel actually gets some good news, but that leads into the end of the issue. And this is the part where those of you former Teen Titan fans, especially Superboy and Wonder Girl, might be interested. Turns out there's definitely kissy-kissy going on. So I guess we're going to be seeing Wonder Girl, Superboy getting back together. A lot of people were very upset in Teen Titans when they heard that Wonder Girl and Red Robin might actually be a thing.
Yeah, I thought that DC Comics said they were never going to get together again. Superboy and
Well, Superboy even said, are you saying...
Before the New 52.
Yeah, Superboy believed that Wonder Girl wanted to be with Red Robin, because he even says, "Hey, you wanted to sleep with Red Robin?" She's like, "Yeah, he's hot. Who the hell wouldn't want to?" And she sees that Superboy's kind of upset at that a little bit, like not upset, but he's like, "Eh." And she's like, "Look, I like him a lot, but Red Robin doesn't own me, just like my former boyfriend doesn't own me. I can do whatever I want, and that's that." And he's like, "So what do you want to do?" And that's when they kiss. And then you get a little bit of Red Robin and Raven. Read the book. Interesting stuff. And, of course, you get the Bart and Solace. Because Bart and Solace apparently got very close.
Wow, this book has lots of romantic moments.
And here's the big spoiler of the book, guys. This is a lot. This turned off a lot of people when Teen Titans was first announced and stuff. It didn't, for me, I didn't mind the character, but a character or a member leaves the Teen Titans at the end of this issue. And that member, spoiler alert, fast forward until I change books if you don't want to know, but that member is Bunker. His boyfriend was in a coma, and he woke up from his coma asking for him. So Bunker basically leaves the Teen Titans to go back to his boyfriend. And for those of you that have been following Teen Titans, Miguel is the one that believed in the Teen Titans and Red Robin. He's been Red Robin's best friend throughout the series. And he's gone. It's his departure from the series, and will we see Bunker again? We probably will. For a while, though, I don't think so. Maybe this is opening up the development between Superboy and Robin's friendship. Maybe their friendship will grow, maybe not. We don't know. But Bunker is officially gone. So, for those of you that have been reading this right along, some people might be upset by that. For those of you who are looking for a more classic feel to the Teen Titans, like something we've been reading right along, back in the Jeff Johns run, small little things here and there are starting to peek their head out again, like the romance with Wonder Girl and Superboy is starting again. You get little bits and pieces. Beast Boy joining the Teen Titans. A lot of development is going on in Teen Titans, and I've been telling everybody Teen Titans is going to play a major... I've been telling a lot of people to jump back into Teen Titans because it feels nice, and I know at some point Cat might jump back into Teen Titans. This book, along with the Suicide Squad, is going to be attached to Forever Evil. I'm already getting Teen Titans. I'm probably going to be picking up Suicide Squad starting next month. Not next month, the month after, when the 24s come out. Connecting to Forever Evil. And we'll see what happens after Forever Evil, but Teen Titans was an enjoyable book. Batman Superman 3, while a really good story, suffers for one reason alone. The artwork. The artwork is the only reason why this book suffers at all. Because the story has so much potential. We find out who the person is that's been plaguing Superman and Batman and caused the time travel and everything.
Who's drawing this?
Jay Lee's still doing it.
What is this? This is like... Their eyes are like not even literally open. It's like they're halfway closed.
But we get who the villain is. It's Kaio. And he's looking to cause trouble in past and present. We get a different artist that does a flashback to the first meeting of Superman and Batman before they were Superman and Batman. Clark when he was a young boy, and Bruce Wayne when he was a young boy. And the artist is different that does the artwork in the past.
They use the real 3D effect like...
No, they don't use the painted effect like that. You get to see Alfred when he was young. You get to see Jonathan Kent, who looks a lot like John Schneider from the Smallville series. And then it jumps back to the, not the present, but it's called Now, where there's a crystal that's like the most powerful and it's the biggest threat on Earth right now. Not only to the world, but to Superman as well. And Superman wants to stop it or get rid of it, and there's a huge fight between Batman in the future and Superman in the past, or Batman in the now. It's very confusing. But could we, when this story arc's over, could we stay in this universe where Superman's married to Lois Lane, and everything is less like this Superman? The Superman in this dimension, where his parents are alive and everything, feels like the Superman from pre-New 52. Not saying I don't like the New 52 Superman. I just prefer this one more. I know we're not going to see him after this, but it's a small request, so to speak. And the crystal is the only way for the young superheroes to go home. And basically, to save Superman and Batman's world, they have to destroy the crystal. But if they destroy it, then the young superheroes can't go back, or at least something like that. It was very weird towards the end. So it's left with the four of them in front of the crystal. I know a lot of people dropped the story arc because of Jay Lee's artwork. And I don't know, the ending of this kind of... I read this book last because I thought it was really interesting when I read the first part of it, and I kind of split it. But the next issue is the last issue, and I left a lot of stuff out also for a reason. Still a fun read for the time being. The story is really good. The artwork causes the story to suffer, in my opinion. The story suffers due to the artwork. The good news is, after Villains Month, next month, issue 24 and issue 4, we're at issue 23 and this is issue 3. Issue 4 of Batman Superman is the last issue Jay Lee's doing the artwork on. So the artwork will be changing. Maybe that'll bring a lot of people back. I feel bad because this story arc had a lot of potential, and I think a lot more people would have been better receiving of the story if the artwork was different. No offense to Jay Lee, he has a very stylized way of doing his artwork. It just doesn't fit in a superhero comic.
Nope.
It just doesn't fit.
Doesn't, the way I saw it.
But I like his artwork, just not in a comic book, not in a superhero comic. It just doesn't work. It didn't work in Ozymandias, and it doesn't work twice as much in Batman Superman. And your book is next, so I'm going to sit back and drink some soda.
Alright, All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex, issue number 23. This issue's really good, I have to say. Lots of twists and turns in this book. It starts off where Bruce Wayne wants to look for Jonah Hex for many obvious reasons of what he's been doing, while Jonah Hex and Dr. Arkham are driving, and they have a talk about saying, about facing reality, because Jonah Hex has been through time with the whole Booster Gold incident.
I'm hoping we get to see Booster Gold again.
Yeah, because there's been mention of him at some time. So Jonah Hex falls in love with this girl who goes by the name of Gina, and I really can't understand how...
Oh, you shut your mouth.
But beside the point, there's a whole big thing that's happening at a festival where they're doing the, not festival, the whole breast cancer thing of the whole, whatchamacallit, donating, like Walk for Breast Cancer. And he has a gun where he's fighting off this person who is causing havoc in some sort of way. Police catch him, and Detective Dunning thinks that he's acting like Jonah Hex in some sort of way of Stockholm Syndrome. And in the end, just show some artwork. Here comes Bruce Wayne asking for Jonah Hex. And yeah, this is really interesting. I can't wait to see what Bruce Wayne has in store for Jonah Hex, as well as, the whole thing. And there are some stuff that I did leave out because you guys should absolutely read it. But it's really great, and I recommend you get the comic book.
Next we have the Flash issue number 23. The identity of the Reverse Flash is revealed. Will I be telling you guys in this review? I'm sorry. I sat down and thought about it for a long time. But do I want to spoil it? Don't I want to spoil it? I am not going to spoil it in this issue. Next issue, I will be talking about the Reverse Flash's identity. I will ease the worry on Wally West fans. The Reverse Flash is not Wally West. Wally West is still somewhere out there in the known universes, but he's not Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash is somebody else completely, just to let you guys know. Will you be disappointed? It's up to you. If you wanted it to be Wally West, just to have Wally West back, yeah, you're going to be disappointed at that.
Did I say the artwork was fantastic?
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I love the artwork in this book. I think that Brian Buccella's artwork is spectacular and complements Francis Manapul's writing 110%. This book is Reverse Flash versus Flash. Iris gets in between them, and she gets hurt.
Oh, wow.
And I can't show that page. It spoils who the person is.
But just wow.
But there's also hints, and I will say this: Reverse Flash wants all the power of the Speed Force, so he can, and I quote, go back. Where was it? He wants to go back in time. I forgot why, but there was a mention he wanted to go back and.
Didn't he want to change something? Like, yeah, he said
there
to change something. I don't think they.
It's here, somewhere. One person wants to. Oh, here. Have the power to he wants to go back in time to change everything, and then at the very end of the book he says that he wants to go he wants to set things in reverse and change an event in the past. Yeah. What is that? We don't know. It could be something like what Barry did when Barry went back in time to save his mom. Maybe Reverse Flash wants to go back and prevent the death of somebody. I don't know. Could it lead into a future potential event? Yes, but after Flashpoint, I think DC needs to relax on Flash events for a bit, because every time I think of a Flash event now, the first thing I'm going to be thinking of is what are they going to do, reboot the universe again? I hope they don't make all the Flash major events the new Crisis, like where Crisis on Infinite Earths changed the DC universe. All the Flash events will have Flash traveling between Earths.
Oh boy.
Please.
Don't Marvel.
Unless you're going back to the old DC, stay in this universe. No more changing. Unless it's to somehow find a midway point between the old and new.
I don't know why they're so obsessed with time and everything. It's just that.
Beside the point, this issue of Flash was awesome. Artwork, spectacular. Francis Manapul's writing, spectacular. Cannot! Especially with the way they ended this issue. Wait! To the conclusion of this story arc next issue. I can't wait to see the next issue of Flash. Reverse Flash, 2 weeks in Villains Month, the second week of September.
Right.
Looking forward to that book. And the last book I'll be discussing solo. It's a digital first book, but the best Superman book of the week with Tim.
I
believe it's Tim Daly's artwork on the cover.
This is good.
Adventures of Superman issue number 4. This book was great. First story is about Lex Luthor and his plans on how to kill Superman, and it's morning. You got Lex Luthor scheming, Superman fighting this robot, and you don't really see too much about Superman. You see Lex Luthor kind of obsessed with figuring, being the this is the pre-New 52 Lex Luthor, where he is the head of LexCorp. And LexCorp basically is the head of his industry, so he's playing that snake in the grass kind of businessman. And you have Superman, who is fighting something that Luthor kind of sent Adam to destroy him. You get to see the confrontation at the end of the story, and it just starts anew the next day, and it's awesome. The next story is two men talking about their experiences or about Superman. And artwork is different in this book, but it has the Max Fleischer feel to it.
Wow.
You mentioned this during the live show, the Black S. Well, here it is.
I thought it was black.
It is black.
Yeah, I was right.
And he's in space. It is black.
Yeah, there you go.
Mike was talking about this. And that was a fun issue. This was another fun issue. And then the next one is, it's from Superman's mother's point of view. And you get, actually, in the first page, you get to see the Kents from the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. And the artwork is really good. Starts off with Superman fighting Brainiac. It's just Superman having a busy day, saving Lois Lane, fighting Brainiac. Look at all this stuff. Dealing with Bizarro, the Justice League of America, fighting off robots, going to the Fortress of Solitude, spending time with Krypto. And the mother just wants him to come home one day just to have some, she's like, one day I wish he would just stay for supper or something. And at the end of the issue, that's exactly what happens. This was the best page in this story where he's like, is there any supper left? And she's like, let's go inside. And this is just, these stories are really good because they're out of continuity. They're the classic Superman story. First story is by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, was spectacular. Second story is by Tom DeFalco. That story was an amazing issue. And then the last story was by Rob Williams. Spectacular. And the artwork in every single book was spot on, amazing. This is my number two favorite Superman book. Number one still being Superman Unchained for now. The first story arc is really good with Jeff Johns and not Jeff Johns, I keep saying Scott Snyder and Jim Lee. That book definitely deserves number one, but this book is my number one favorite digital first Superman book. Number two favorite in like ongoing series. And we are about to hit 28 minutes, so we will be back in the click of a button. Okay, and we're back. So now, the final book of episode 200, and this is a book we both read, and this is the end.
And the book of the week.
It's the end and beginning.
Exactly.
It is the end and beginning.
So this is a good way to end this off.
And this is Justice League number
23. Trinity War, part 6 of 6.
And you start it, and I'll finish with my opinions. Mike, you go through the book, and then I'm going to say my opinions of it.
This book was just simply amazing. It just talks about everything of what's been going on so far.
A few people were not happy about this book, and I don't understand why. They're like, it ended. It's like event.
The artwork.
I'm explaining why. They said it's like event A leading into event B, which leads into event C. No. This is event A leading into Villains Forever, which then ends the story arc. They're not going into an event C, and I don't know why people are upset about it. I think that this was a really nice way of ending this series and leading into the next, and we find out what the Trinity means.
And they were also playing a hot potato with Pandora's box again, but the artwork is just phenomenal.
And we find out why Mira was there. Mira turned out to be John Jones.
I know, and that was like really something else. And then
Superman's really sick. That's the problem. And we find out what happened with Superman too. And we find out who the traitor was, whom I knew. By the way, guys, spoiler alerts. We are going to spoil the rest of this book, but to be honest, on Wednesday I typed in Justice League 23 review, and somebody posted up basically the entire book. Minus 4 or 5 pages. So I found out everything before I even got to read the book. Which I hated, but nobody warned me that there was a spoiler until I actually saw the spoiler.
Yeah, but actually, what's his name? Firestorm actually finds out why Superman is sick. And there's a little bit of kryptonite that's implanted in his head. And who did it? The traitor, get ready for this. The Atom.
Or Atomica. And why is her name Atomica? We'll get to that at the end of the issue.
And she talks about how it was implanted and
how she planted
it in his head that triggered his heat vision to go off.
That wasn't the only thing she did.
No. Don't show that page. She turned Cyborg into Grid.
Yeah, the Grid basically. She entered the Grid.
Hacked in the computer.
She hacked into Cyborg and turned his cybernetic part into the Grid, and it expelled the rest of his human part.
Yeah, so now, here is why they called it Trinity War.
You guys know this. This isn't a huge spoiler.
Now, Trinity is another way of saying 3.
Yeah, and this was spoiled already, so we get Earth 3.
The Crime Syndicate. Earth 3.
Everybody knew that the Crime Syndicate was coming.
Also, the outsider was Alfred. Earth
Yeah,
3's
everybody was
Alfred.
right. And Atomica is basically the Atom's version of the Crime Syndicate. So we didn't get the new DCU Atom yet. He or she is still out there somewhere. And we also get hints towards the next story arc. They bring a prisoner from Earth 3, and we don't know who that person is. Is it Alexander Luthor? Is it somebody else who's going to play a major role in helping the Justice League? All we know is the Justice League is severely outnumbered at this moment, and all you get is, in Forever Evil #1, the Crime Syndicate owns all.
The world
is ours.
Everything.
You just get the Crime Syndicate attacking the Justice League.
But wow, this is just amazing. I mean, it was good to see the Crime Syndicate again because they were in Justice League also, right?
I thought it was great, yeah.
In the
artwork was great, the story was great, and it leaves you with so many questions. Who's the prisoner? How are they going to help How are they going to save Superman? Obviously, Jeff Johns said the villains won, but the villains didn't win yet.
No, not yet.
But they are apparently.
They just got the superheroes down, but not out.
Yet. So what's going to happen to the Justice League?
Oh man, Book of the Week.
And how are they going to beat the Crime Syndicate and send them back to where they came from? And this is going to be from issue 24 all the way through until issue 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's about issue 30. Because it's going to go all 7 months that Forever Evil, well, 6 months.
Right.
So it's going to be 6 issues from now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, yeah. From issue 24 to 30 is going to be all about Forever Evil. Same thing with Teen Titans, Suicide Squad, Justice League Dark, and Justice League of America. All 4 books are going to be connected to Forever Evil for the next 6 months. I say 6 because next month is Villains Month and there are no issues coming out.
Right.
It's just going to be straight up villain one-shots.
Man, oh man. What a way to end it.
Wow, it was so good. It's like, we're not going to see anything. And you know what I'm really upset about? One book that should have been made through the Justice League.
The Crime Syndicate.
Yeah. The Crime Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate is not getting their villain spotlight in any book.
Maybe they might.
In Villains Forever #1?
They might.
There you go.
So there you go.
There you go. Villains Forever #1 might be the Crime Syndicate's #1.
And then we'll get the whole origin and all that other stuff because they just can't come in here without an origin story. There's going to be an origin, at least.
DC did a really good, I don't care what anybody says, DC did a really good job with this event. It was contained. It was only 6 issues, no tie-ins. Just straight up buy the 3 Justice League books and you're good to go.
And this is the third ending page of the moral of the second Trinity War.
And the next story arc is the same thing. The 3 Justice League books, Forever Evil, and you don't even have to get Teen Titans and Suicide Squad to get what's going on. As a matter of fact, I don't think you even need the Justice League books. I think if you read Forever Evil on its own, you're going to get the gist of what's going on.
Exactly.
Each book has its own thing. It's all connected to Forever Evil, but each book has its own issues they're dealing. Each league is dealing with their own issues. So technically, you don't need to get the Justice League books. Just get Forever Evil.
Yeah, and that's it. But
Marvel should be taking notes.
Yeah, because this, my friends, is Book of the Week. Just flat out. In my opinion.
This is Book of the Week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is Book of the Month for me. This has been a really good event. DC did it well, organized, and classic Jeff Johns, one event leads right into the other. If you're used to his writing in Green Lantern, you'll be used to his writing in Justice League. And no wonder why he dropped Green Lantern. He has a lot of work he's obviously doing with Justice League.
And what a way to end it in 200. That's like a huge
spectacular
thing. You know?
Yeah, and with that,
yep,
that's it. We have no more books for episode 200.
Great ride, and
been spectacular. Cannot wait for episode 201. We have officially concluded.
Yep, and now it's off to our journey to 300.
Yep. So my no.
I have to go behind the camera, so I will see you guys later.
Now.
Book of the week.
Book of the week, Justice League number 23. My favorite, number 2 favorite, Superman book, but number 1 favorite, digital first book, Adventures of Superman number 4. Get this book. The Flash number 23 was a good issue. Relax, it wasn't Wally West. I leave it up to you guys, but I'm enjoying it. Jonah Hex, or All-Star Western Jonah, featuring Jonah Hex, 23.
Great issue. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Batman Superman 3, the only reason it suffers is because of the artwork. I leave it up to you guys. Teen Titans number 23. I also leave up to you guys. It's up to you if you're interested in Teen Titans or not. Red Lanterns 23 is definitely one of the dominating Lantern books. Superman 23 was a bit scattered, but I'm sure you guys could keep up with it. An interesting issue. I leave it up to you guys. Larfleeze 3, if you've been liking it, you'll love it. If you're not liking it, you're not going to like it. So, up to you guys. Wolverine and the X-Men 35. End of chapter 1 in my eyes. Really good ending, and I enjoyed a lot of the book. Thor, God of Thunder, issue 12, you're jumping on point, and I recommend a lot of you guys to just check this issue out at least. It was a really enjoyable issue. But that's, again, up to you guys, but I recommend it. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man 26, Bombshell's mother's origin and her origin, and basically a main focus on Roxxon. Up to you guys. Scarlet Spider, issue 21. Oh, a lot of Spider-Man fans will be upset. I liked it. Young Avengers issue number 9. If by issue number 10 or 11, we don't get this mother thing wrapped up, I think I'm done with Young Avengers. Avengers Arena, issue number 14. Interesting book. I leave up to you guys. New Avengers, issue 9. As long as it stays within its own book and I don't have to read everything else to know what's going on in New Avengers, I'll be sticking with it. Up to you guys. Book of the month, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 25. High recommendation next to Justice League number 23 from this week. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us for over 200 plus Dark Avenger comic book reviews. If you jumped on after 100, however long you've been watching, thank you guys so much for your views, for your comments, for your personal messages, for following me on my crazy wacky journey on here, on Dark Avenger Inc., on Brooklyn Boys 13, or wherever. Even if you guys followed me over to Comic Related to check out my craziness on there, where me and Brad do weekly podcasts, the Related Recap, bi-weekly podcast on Zone4Podcast.com, Hall of Toys, where we talk about toys, video games, and board games. For those of you that have been with me from the beginning, for those of you that are just jumping on now, and for those of you that jumped on anywhere from 1 to 200, your views, your comments, everything are 1001% appreciated. I enjoy it. I'm here for you guys, and I will be here for you guys for many, many, many more comic reviews to come. Thank you guys so much. Do try not to miss out on checking out comicrelated.com. It is your #1 source for comic book news, reviews, and a whole bunch of other things. There's a game-related section, there's TV, there's movies, a lot of other things are on comicrelated.com. Don't miss out on major things that will be coming from me very soon. And don't miss out on darkavengerinc.com. It is coming soon. It's taking a while because we're trying to work out this fine-tuned part of the website. And once we work that out, the website will be there. But until then, do subscribe to Dark Avenger Inc. On YouTube. This way, when we do open up the website, you guys will be the first to know. And all of our videos will be in your subscription box. And you won't miss out on a single review. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you're enjoying what you see, please do click that sub button. Big things coming all around Dark Avenger Inc., my channel. And I'm very sure comic related, especially with Villains Month coming.
Also, I'd like to give thanks as well for you letting me be in your comic review.
Yep.
From 100.
This is 100 reviews from Michael so far.
Yes, so thank you.
So thank you guys so much, and I will be seeing you in the next video for my announcement for 300 and on. So 200 and on to 300. The road to 300! I will see you guys really soon. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. And See you guys on Tuesday for the live show, and until the next video, take care, everybody.
Later, guys.